Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, let's do a walk around and tour of the all-new refreshed 2025 Nissan Frontier. The Nissan Frontier has always been regarded as one of the more traditional vehicles in the small pickup truck segment, and of course this competes with the likes of the GMC and Chevrolet Twins, the Toyota Tacoma, and of course the Ford Ranger. For 2025, the Nissan Frontier does get a nice refresh on both the exterior and the interior, and while it's got a lot of good things going for it, keep in mind that at one point this was the longest vehicle that was not redesigned, yet it continued to actually sell year after year after year. With that being said, the one that we're taking a look at today is this Afterburn Orange PRO-4X model, and as you can see, this one here does come with all your off-road goodies that you would expect. But with that being said, a huge thank you to Crest Nissan, which is part of the Crest Auto dealerships right here in Frisco, Texas, for giving me some time on this one today. And because the vehicle is running, I do not have access to a key, but we're going to go ahead and get started anyway. Starting off here in the front of the vehicle, as you can see, you can definitely tell that there has been some slight revisions to the front, as you can see, and it does look really nice. You're going to have your air dams right here, which is going to allow for air to go into the engine and make it breathe a bit more efficiently as you're driving down the road. You're going to have your Nissan emblem front and center in that bright burnt orange color, as well as that front facing camera. And overall, the grille does make the truck stand out and look a bit more aggressive. And even when you pan out a little bit, you are going to kind of get that same effect as well. You also have your front radar cruise control sensor down here, your orange recovery hooks at the very bottom, and of course you have your fog lights on both sides. In addition to that, you do have your standard LED daytime running lights with LED projector headlamps. And coming over to our wheels and tires, we are taking a look at a set of Hankook Dynapro AT2s on, I believe these are 18-inch tires. Let me try and find the tire size here. If I can find it. These are 255 70R 17s all the way around. And of course, as we come to the door handle, again, I don't have a set of keys to the vehicle, but if I did, this vehicle does have a smart key access system, which allows for easy access to the exterior as well as the interior. By having a key fob in your pocket and come to the door handle, all you'd have to do is just tap that button one time, the vehicle will unlock, and you would be able to jump on inside. And then when you're finished, just tap this button again, one beep will indicate locking, and of course, you'd be on your very way. The exterior color of this one is finished off in Afterburn Orange, with the black leather interior with orange piping and stitching pertaining to the PRO-4X trim level. Coming over to the door panels, you can see we're going to have some soft touch, although kind of a hard soft touch material on top. However, you do have some softer material down here at the very bottom. You're going to have your aluminum door handle here, your orange stitching coming across the door panel here, and then you have all your controls on this side, which does consist of your power, your window your mirror adjustments, your child window lock, your unlock and lock switches here, as well as your power windows. Coming down below that, we have a deep sized storage pocket, as well as an area for a small cup holder. And then you have this orange area here, which is where you would have your speaker in this one as well. But it does look really cool. Sitting inside of the Nissan Frontier, the first thing you notice is obviously they have made some big changes inside, as we'll talk about in just a moment. The Nissan Frontier does come standard with a fully leather wrapped rack and pinion power steering wheel with controls here on the left as well on the right side. Our left side is going to consist of our source button here, followed by our enter button, as well as some controls here for our driver information center here. Volume adjustments here for our audio, as well as our headset voice and telephone controls. On the right side, we're going to have some things here for our cruise control settings, as well as our full collision warning system. Coming up here, we're taking a look at our standard gauge cluster, which consists of two main gauges. To the left, we have our tachometer, as well as our coolant temperature, and to the right, we have our speedometer, as well as our fuel gauge. Right in the middle is going to be our driver information system, consisting of many different features and settings that we can go through. And of course, it's going to consist of our range to empty, as well as our exterior temperature on top and some safety features. In the middle is where we're going to find our driver information center. And at the very bottom, we're going to have our odometer reading, gear selection, as well as our four-wheel drive configurator as far as how that is set up. Now you can cycle through a couple of different things here on this small screen via the steering wheel, and they do include your speed, your off-road, which is going to show us our suspension and pitch and roll. We do have our auxiliary gauges, as well as more auxiliary gauges. So on this end here, you're going to have your battery voltage as well as your coolant temperature. You're going to have your oil pressure as well as oil level. Driving information, which includes your average miles driven, elapsed time, and average fuel economy. Our fuel economy average there. Audio system. Driving aids, which does include our blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, as well as lane departure. Tire pressure monitoring system. Our auto stop start function, and any warnings. And then as we go to settings here, we have our driver assistance, meter settings, vehicle settings, alerts, maintenance, units, language, as well as a data factory reset. And then back to our main screen here once again. Coming over here, one of the big changes that they did for 2025 on the new Frontier is this brand new 12.3-inch infotainment system that's pretty much across every Nissan product in their lineup right now. And as you can see, it does look really nice in here. It does give off a lot of real estate, and I like how it does cover up this entire area here, because before it kind of looked a little bit lackluster with that 9-inch display. Now, you still can get that 9-inch display on lower trim levels. However, if you go for the SP and up trims, you will be getting this larger 12.3-inch display here. So on this side, you're going to be taking a look at our menu here, which is going to consist of our 2 different available apps for our entertainment. You have your Apple CarPlay selection, for example. It says no devices connected. And of course, you also do have your call history. Coming to this side, you can customize your home menu as well as customize your split screen, and then your analog clock and date and time. And on this side, you have FM, AM, Bluetooth audio, as well as your USB port. But anyway, starting off here at our home page, this is where we're going to be seeing a lot of things here. So going to our menu, that's kind of where we're starting things off actually. You do have your sub-menus down here, which consist of your phone, info, audio, connections, and settings. So starting off with our phone, this is where we'll be able to add a phone to the vehicle via the Bluetooth system. And then when you do that, you're going to have things such as quick dial, phone book, call history, dial number, text message, connections, as well as phone volume. Coming to info, you're going to have your notifications, Nissan Connect services, vehicle reports, system information, as well as vehicle data transmission and smartphone connection. Audio is going to consist of all your different audio sources that you can select from. And let's say we want to go to our FM radio. That's going to show us what's playing on our station right here, as well as in this little area here. You're going to have your sources here, which consist of your AM as well as Sirius XM radio. You do have your FM menu, and then you have your tune right here, of course. Your preset stations right here. Overall, not too bad. Let's say you want to go to AM radio, it's going to kind of give you the same setup. And then Sirius XM, as you can see there. The only difference is that it'll show you what the album that you're listening to, as well as any categories, as well as any notifications. Overall, not too bad. Moving on from that, we're going to go to our connections here. So of course, this is where you'll be able to see all your different devices on the vehicle. You have your Wi-Fi that you can select from, of course, which you can turn it on and turn on your vehicle hotspot. And then any USB devices that may be connected to the vehicle system. And then as you go to our settings, this is going to be a comprehensive list of different things you can enable, disable, change, and make it your own. And you have a lot of things to go through on here, which includes our connections, sound, volume and beeps, clock, customized menus, Nissan Connect services, as well as our system voice, followed by our camera, others, system updates, and apps. Starting off here with our connections, this is where we'll be able to go through like what we did before, pertaining to our devices that we have listed on the screen, our Wi-Fi, as well as our Wi-Fi hotspot, and our USB, as you can see there. Coming over to our sound, we can make adjustments here to our bass, mid, treble, balance, fade, as well as our bass enhancer. We also do have our speed-sensitive volume at the very bottom. We do have our volume and beeps, which you can adjust for things such as your audio volume, your ringtone, as well as your button beeps in general. Come over to our clock. We can make adjustments on our clock, as you can see there. Customize our menus, which you can customize your home menu, audio sources, and split screen. We have our Nissan Connect services, which is going to allow us to do our vehicle data sharing, unit ID information. We set all Nissan Connect services settings to default, as well as our vehicle data transmission settings. So basically, this is going to get you into the more general not statements, but more the general nitty-gritty stuff as far as the Nissan Connect services are concerned. And then come over here to this side, we do have our camera, which is going to show us our display settings. And as you can see, you can adjust your brightness, your contrast, your tint, your color, as well as your black level. You have others, which includes your display, language, units, keyboard type, and return all settings to a factory default. We do have our system updates, which is going to check for any software updates down here, as well as our version information that we currently have. and our different apps, which includes our smartphone connection as well as notifications. And then pretty much with that being said, that's going to do it here for the infotainment system portion in the 2025 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X. But before we move any further, this vehicle does have a 9-speed automatic transmission. Put it into reverse, you do have that backup camera with guidance lines that do adjust as you turn the wheel. The camera quality is not great, but it's not too bad either. However, you do have that 360 camera standard on this model, which is very nice to see. Coming down below that, we do have some physical controls for our volume knob and tuning knob. We have our audio menu as well as display buttons, followed by our seat track, camera, our brightness adjustments, as well as our back button. We do have Frontier spelled out across the portion here, which does look really nice in that same burnt orange color. And then coming down here, we do have our climate control functions. As you can see, it's a dual zone setup here. Very easy to do. Your high ventilation here. This is going to be for your heated mirrors. Turn off the entire system itself. You do have your fan speed here, different modes for your positioning. AC, you can turn the AC portion off if you want to. Recycling and all that stuff there. And then on this side, we do have a power outlet. Come below that, we do have our heated seats, as you can see, for the front as well as front passenger. Heated steering wheel, parking sensors, a USB-C port and a USB port. Below that, we do have our wireless charging pad inside, as you can see there. We have our 9-speed automatic transmission. We do have our 2 cup holders here. And I like the gear shifter being in this piano black, as it does look nice, but of course we want to keep a microfiber cloth for any particular people that like to leave their fingerprints and all that in there. And then you do actually have your keypad, your wireless charging pad in here. It's a key wireless charging pad. This right here is more so going to be where you'll be able to put your devices to charge inside of there. Then come over to our glove compartment, good amount of storage space inside, and it's quite nice. The Pro-4X is going to have one of the more comfortable and nicer interiors. As you can see, this is a Nissan Zero Gravity seats inspired by NASA, and as you can tell, these are some of the most comfortable seats that you'll find in the industry. The orange stitching here does signify that you do have the Pro-4X model, and it does look very impressive and nice. And again, these seats are very comfortable. They do have a good feel to it. I just wish it did come standard with ventilated seats, however. Come over here to our glove box. It's dampened, and you have a good amount of storage space inside. Some more of that orange stitching on top of here. And of course, you do have some basically hard touch plastic. Window sticker here, which we'll go through at the end of the video. We do have our mirror here. Our controls here for overhead lights. We do have our SOS for roadside assistance. And come back down here, we do have our sunglass holder. We do have our visor here with a mirror as well as a incandescent light. And then come over here to our left side, we do have our tow mode, gauge dimmer switches here, trip odometer reset, as well as your Pro Pilot Assist function right here. And you do have your 400 watt, 450 watt outlet here. And then you have other things right here, such as your cargo lamp, your hill descent control, your suspension right here, as well as traction control off down at the very bottom. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and continue the tour of the 2025 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X. Coming to the back of the Nissan Frontier, materials do fall through in this one, and they do look really nice. You're going to have one USB-C and one USB port. You're going to have a 400 watt outlet, as you can see right next to it, which is a proper household outlet actually. You do also have, if you remove this little adventure backpack here, our pad armrest with 2 cup holders. And if I didn't mention it already, we do have that 1 seat pocket behind the front passenger. We have this adventure backpack here, so you can put stuff in if you're going to be backpacking or traveling. And of course, we do have our all other floor mats inside of the vehicle. We have our fuel tank right here. Pro-4X decal right there in the back. And then coming to the back of the vehicle, we do have LED taillights on this one, which is very nice. You kind of have the solid black piece here coming across the tailgate, which does add a nice touch. Frontier stamped across the tailgate as well. Nissan badge right here, as well as your Pro-4X badge right here. Your parking sensors and your tow hitch. Not such a soft opening tailgate by any means, but it does come down easily. And of course, coming inside, you do have a spare bed liner, as well as some areas where you can actually attach items to the inside of the vehicle. And if you're going to be tailgating or anything like that, you do have areas where you can put cups and all that stuff. And overall, it's pretty cool. Under the hood of the Nissan Frontier, we're taking a look at the company's 3.8-liter VQ Series direct injection V6 engine. It produces 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. It's going to be mated to that 9-speed automatic transmission, and this one is 4-wheel drive. All right, everybody, so the last thing we are going to go through in this one today is the vehicle's window sticker. 2025 Nissan Frontier PRO-4X Crew Cab Standard Wheelbase 4x4 Automatic V6. As you can see, everything on this side is going to come standard with the vehicle. And making our way over to our options list, this one here does have a couple different things on the vehicle. This one has an MSRP starting out at $41,770. We have the Pro Convenience Package, which includes our spray and bed liner, Utilitrack system, with 2 adjustable tie-down cleats that we saw in the cargo area, the bed I should say, the heated outside mirrors, heated steering wheel, as well as heated front seats, remote engine start, LED under-rail lighting, a trailer hitch with wiring harness, intelligent around view monitoring, with moving object detection, with off-road mode, as well as our wireless charger for $2,190. We have our off-road style step rails for $870, the premium paint for $425, electronic tailgate lock for $355, USB charging cable kit for $90, carpeted floor mats, which is going to be standard in the vehicle, your essentials kit, which does include our adventure medic kit that we saw on the back. That's kind of what that backpack is for. We have our seat back organizer, as well as our owner's brand portfolio. That's for $400, and the mud flaps for $275. This one has a destination charge of $1,510, and this one comes in stickers at $47,885. Fuel economy is not the greatest, but this is not why you buy this vehicle. You buy it for fun. It comes in at 16 city, 20 highway, and 18 combined. In conclusion, the Nissan Frontier has always been the traditional truck for most truck buyers who don't want to necessarily upgrade to a bigger vehicle. Let's say they no longer make the Titan anymore, which I was going to make that comparison, but again, the Titan does not exist anymore. But if you're looking at the Chevy Colorado, GMC Canyon, the Toyota Tacoma, as well as the Ford Ranger, you might want to take a look at this as well, because this vehicle is, like I said, very traditional. It's going to give you all your features and options that you want. Even if you upgrade to this Pro-4X, you're going to be getting a lot of creature comforts. You're going to be getting a reliable engine, great technology, and overall, it's just a standard truck. It doesn't have all this new technology as far as like what we see in the Tacoma or what we see in the Ranger, but it's simplistic. It gets the job done. And overall, this will actually be a bit more reliable versus some of its competitors, specifically because, of course, not only is it tried and true and tested, but of course, this is one of the last vehicles to actually have a V6 under the hood. But with that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this walk around and tour of the 2025 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X, finished off here in Afterburn Orange with the black leather interior. If you're interested in this vehicle, please let Crest Nissan know that you saw this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.